everything gone. I am now stuck in Tehran with no money at all. G'day everyone, I am back from 2 months solo in Iran. Now this video isn't going to be a vlog, it's just going to be a recount of my first crazy 48 hours in Iran where I was robbed for all of my money. I had 25-hour crazy bus ride. It's just insane. So grab some popcorn, grab a beer and strap in because this is going to be one interesting video. It all started in Yerevan, Armenia, where I rolled out of bed, I grabbed my phone, I text the bus company, do you have any spare seats? And they say, yeah, sure, come at 12:30. So at 12:30, after packing my bags, grabbing my visa, I arrived at the bus station. And when I go to buy my ticket, they say, sorry, there's no seats, but you can sit next to the bus driver if you'd like. So I go, sure, I'll get a better view, I'll have a friend with the bus driver, no problems. Once we get to the bus, the seat next to the bus driver is just a shitty little fold down seat, whilst the rest of the bus get reclining seats with footrests that raise up. The whole works, but I don't really care as long as I get to Tehran. Now, an hour into the bus ride, the second driver goes to me and he goes, why are you in my seat? And I'm like, what? I paid for this seat. It's my seat. He goes, no. That's my seat. So, an hour in, I've been downgraded to sitting on a cushion in the aisle of a bus on a 25-hour journey. Now I'm slightly pissed off by this, as you can imagine, but it doesn't matter because the second bus driver whips out his bottle of vodka, whips out his bottle of Coke and starts pouring me up egregiously strong vodka and Cokes to help with the arse pain. And after an hour, the bottle of vodka is gone, we are both completely smashed, and we venture off into the Armenian desert. Cruising through the desert, we pass by a war zone where Azerbaijan and Armenia were fighting as early as 2020, but it looks like yesterday. Everything feels like it was there 2 hours ago and it's just been dropped and evacuated. It was crazy. As we keep driving, we leave behind the desert mountains as we climb all the way up into the forested mountains, and the rain and cold and fog sets in. It's absolutely gorgeous, but the visibility then drops all the way to zero. I've never seen the visibility this low in my life. Coupled with this is huge trucks coming the opposite direction, super tight hairpin turns where the bus has to go on the other side of the road just to get around, whilst you can't see a single thing. It was scary and incredible. By about 12 o'clock at night, everyone is cold and tired. We arrive at the Iranian border. I have no problems getting through the Armenian side, but as I step onto the Iranian side, it really hits me, the situation that Iran is in. All the border officers, huge AKs, pistols, desert camo, all of the vehicles, motorbikes, cars, desert camo, sniper towers everywhere. And I was like, oh shit, this is real. I am heading into a place that has just been at war. Now as I cruise through the Iranian customs, all of the border patrol are so confused on how I've managed to get my visa and why I'm coming to Iran. But they are just laughing because they don't have anything against me coming to Iran. They're actually happy that I am. But the Australian embassy recently, a few weeks prior to this, just closed down, which is why, if you saw in my last video, I had to bribe the Iranian embassy to get my visa. Now, this has no problems. I have my visa, it's legal, I get through Iranian customs, and then comes the wait. About 2 hours of sitting on the curb in Iran, just outside customs, with my amazing friends from the bus, waiting for the bus to be cleared to come in. It's freezing cold in the desert mountains of Iran, but spirits are high. I made it into Iran in 2025 as an 18-year-old Australian. Finally, the bus gets cleared and I resume my seat in the aisle with my friends who have also come and sat with me in the aisle because they are legends. And as we cruise through the Iranian desert mountains, the roads are terrible, but they're all being reconstructed, so hopefully soon that changes. And around 3 a.m. I managed to finally doze off to sleep. Every time we would stop in a small town to fuel up, or to let some passengers off that live in small villages, I would obviously wake up. It's really dodgy sleep in the middle of an aisle in a bus, but I didn't really mind. It was all part of the experience. And after about, I want to say maybe 14 hours or more, we reached the city in the north called Tabriz. Now Tabriz is a major city, and a lot of the bus, including my friends, hop off, which allows me to finally score a good seat in the back and get some rest as we head through the Iranian desert towards Tehran. Now coming into Tehran, the traffic was insane. The worst traffic I've ever seen in my life. It was all starting to get real. I had no cell service, no money, no anything. But I was so tired I just couldn't even begin to think about what I was going to do once I arrived in Tehran. Now, eventually when I arrived in Tehran at the bus station, I get off, immediately swamped by taxi drivers. Taxi. Always, I'm telling them to go away. You know, new country, you never ever want to just hop in a taxi. I'm aware of the taxi app, although I can't use it because I don't have an Iranian SIM card or phone number to sign up. So the bus driver comes to me and he asks, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I just need to buy a SIM card and exchange some money and then I'll be all good." He says, "Okay, go with this taxi. It'll be okay. He'll be good. He'll take you to get a SIM card and exchange some money." So, being good friends with this bus driver, and he genuinely had good intentions, I trust this taxi driver. Mistake number one. Immediately when I hop in this taxi with this man, it's not a labeled or registered taxi, it's just a car. I don't trust this guy one bit. He's asking me all these questions about where I want to go, and he seems lost. He almost seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway, we go to a money exchange office, and there's 50 million of them. Everywhere in Iran, the biggest industry almost, is money exchange. Because of inflation, everyone wants to exchange their money into dollars or euros, and then when the dollar goes up, they exchange it back for more local currency. No. So, assuming that out of all the 50 million options, this man has taken me to one with a decent exchange rate, I ask, "Is this a good rate?" And he says, yes. And it's impossible for me to know what the actual rate is because I don't have a SIM card, and even on Google, if you just look at the currency conversion, it's completely wrong. It's more than double what it says on Google. So I hand over my $100 note because I can't use my bank cards due to sanctions. So I have to take all of my cash into Iran that I want to spend because it's impossible to get cash from outside of Iran. Now when I hand the exchange man the money, he takes it and he runs next door knowing that he'll get a better rate. And then, and only then, does my taxi driver tell me, "Oh, you got a bad rate. It should be 20% more." So after the 25-hour bus ride from hell, I've already managed to be scammed once, and I do not trust this taxi driver at all. And when the man comes back with all of my money, it's so much money I can't even fit it in my wallet. So as we go back to the taxi, and I try to ask him just to leave me, "I don't want to be in your taxi," he says, no, we have to get you a SIM card. Oh, it's just a pain in the ass. And I made the fatal error of putting my money in my bag and showing him where I put my money. Another fatal error was putting this money with all of my US dollars. What am I doing? So we begin to drive around the crazy main streets of Tehran for over an hour, just going mobile store to mobile store, looking for someone who would sell me a SIM card. Because I didn't know, but in Iran, it's illegal for a foreigner to buy a SIM card without registering prior. Now we're in the final mobile office. I've given them my passport, my visa, and everything just admitting defeat that I would have to register and wait a few days to get a SIM card. When the taxi driver goes, "I'll just buy you a SIM card under my name and then I'll give it to you." I'm like, "Thank you, that's amazing." So he goes out to the car to get his passport, and immediately I don't trust this, because if he just drives off, I have no way in hell of getting any of my possessions back, any money. I have no SIM card. I would be cooked. So I start begging this woman to give me my visa and my passport back, because I don't want to leave that there either, because it's an Australian passport. That's like gold over there. And in hindsight, obviously I should have just left the visa, left the passport, and run to the car, because it's an office with cameras. They're not going to take my passport. But the one thing I don't want to lose is my passport, visa, and phone. That's my only ticket out of there. Worst case, I'm able to hitchhike out if I don't have any belongings. Now this lady speaks no English, and my translate isn't working because I don't have a SIM card. So eventually, after I manage to convince her to give me my passport and visa back, I run out to the car, where I find the man in the back seat with my bag, looking for his passport. Now my bag isn't open, he's already been through it, he's already stolen the money, and I am unaware, and we go in and we get a SIM card. And after he gets me a SIM card, he keeps asking me where to next, and I say no, let me out now. And after actually getting angry with him and opening the door, say that's fine, and I ask him how much. Now again, he scams the ever-living shit out of me. And the money situation in Iran is almost impossible on your first day to understand. They have two different currencies. They have all the notes look different. It's just a nightmare. So it ends up with me just opening my wallet and saying, just take the amount, let me out. Now at this point, I am so hungry, so tired. I know I've been scammed. My SIM card isn't even working. I don't know that I've been robbed of $200 out of my total $700 that I brought in. And I'm in shambles. As I wander around, desperately trying to get my SIM card to work, I bump into a little burger place with the friendliest people on planet Earth. They are so excited to see me. They call all of their friends. I have these uncles coming and kissing me on the forehead, saying it's amazing to see you. We love tourists. What can we get you? They refuse to let me pay for my meal, and then eventually when I asked them how much, I'm gonna pay you, they made me pay 25 cents. It was just incredible. They helped me get Wi-Fi for my SIM card, because my SIM card came without mobile data that I could use. They helped me with that. They then helped me set up my taxi app, and they helped me get a ride to my hostel where I could finally crash. Now I get to my hotel and I go to pay for the accommodation, and I look in my money bag and $200 is missing. I am distraught with how tired I am after the day that I've had dealing with taxis. I just lose it. I break down. I call my Iranian friend and I say I don't know what to do. My trip in Iran has just gone from being maybe 2 months long to 1 month long, with the place that I really want to get to, the islands in the south, the furthest point away, being uncertain if I will be able to get there. My friend is amazing, and she says, don't worry, just come to the gym with me right now. You can come to the gym, chill out, meet my friends, then we'll take you to dinner, and we'll have a good night, and everything will be sweet. So we do that. I get home, I'm feeling amazing. I've met lots of great people. I've had a great traditional Iranian dinner, and I go to sleep. In the morning, I wake up bright and early, around 4:30, and I get ready to go for a 5 a.m. run with this friend who I went to the gym with, completely knackered still, but I enjoy being active and I enjoy making friends, so I went out for this run, and we just spend the entire day together. It's an incredible day. We just go home to her place. She makes me food. shows me around Tehran. Now, after spending the whole day with my friend, she'd given me her bank card so that I could put all my money on the card and I wouldn't have to worry about having money stolen from me again in Iran. And eventually, when it's dark, around 6 p.m, I return to my hostel, and again, I go to pay for my accommodation for the night. I go upstairs, and tragedy has struck. All of my money, every single cent, US dollar, Iranian rial, everything gone. I am now stuck in Tehran with no money at all. At this point, I'm just going through every little nook and cranny in my bag, just in denial, honestly saying, no, it's not gone, I've just misplaced it. This plastic bag is the wrong plastic bag, there has to be a different plastic bag. But eventually I just come to the terms that it's gone. And I'm not even distraught like I was the night before, because when there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. Getting upset, getting angry isn't gonna help. I just go downstairs to reception and I say, look, I can't pay for tonight. I've lost all of my money. It's been stolen. Now, they say, oh, we're so sorry. I don't know how this could happen. What happened? I said, I don't know. I must have not locked my locker. And so I go upstairs to check my locker and it's broken. I go to lock my locker and it doesn't even lock. Now, it locked when I first arrived. Obviously, I'd been there for a day. I knew that my locker did work when I arrived, and now it didn't. To this day, I don't know whether I locked my locker and the thief has just unlocked it and taken my money, or the locker was indeed broken the whole time and I thought it was locked and it didn't lock. Either way, it's not my fault and I'm now in the shit. Again, I call this friend, telling her what happened, and she says, call the police, get them here as soon as possible. There's not many people in the hostel that it can be. And yeah, so I asked them, I'm like, yo, can you help me call police? What's the number? Things like that. And they said, you can call police, but they're not gonna help you because you can't access the security footage until tomorrow. What the fuck? So I go upstairs, I pack all my bags, and I say, look, I'm leaving. I'll be back tomorrow and I'll call the police. They say, oh, no, don't leave. Stay here. You can stay on the couch. The fucking couch in the common room. Are you serious? No, I'm leaving. And they say, oh, okay, you can stay in the dorm for free. No, I'm leaving. I don't trust this hostel. I want to leave. So I go and I stay the night with my friend and I return in the morning. I call the police come. They are super confused because it seems like this is a common occurrence at this hostel. And they go upstairs, they check everything, they write a bunch of stuff down. Just before the police leaves the hostel, I ask the hostel staff, can you please give him the footage? And they say, no, it won't help. There's no footage on the lockers. There's only footage of the room, of who comes in and out of the room. It won't do anything. So they refuse to even tell him that there is footage. So I write in Google Translate to the police officer, there's security footage. And the police officer just goes berserk pretty much because they haven't given him the footage. And it's obvious that they're just trying to cover up and brush this one under the table, and it's shit. Day 2 of working with the police, I go with my friend as a translator to the hostel and we grab the manager and take him to the police station, where the manager is basically yelled at for an hour to the point where it looks like he's about to cry. The police are all telling him he should pay me the money because it is his fault, and he just says no. He signs a contract saying whatever, that he's innocent, and I get no money. The police say to me, we're sorry, but you might hear something in 3 months, minimum, about your money. Absolutely shit. Now what's crazy is I asked the hostel staff, did anyone go into the room that wasn't staying in the room? And they said no. Now that's crazy because there's only about 10 beds in the room and it wasn't a full room, which means there's only about 10 people it could be if it wasn't the staff, which is why it's just stupid that it should take this long. If the police came on day one, just asked everyone to show their money, show their pockets, searched, it could be done then, could be done in a week. It's just insane. As I leave the police station, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's illegal to get money from Australia and the rate is really bad and it will take a long time. Or my only other option is to just try and hitchhike out and rely on the kindness of others to feed me as I leave and try and head for Turkey. After staying with my friend for a couple more days, I start to feel bad because she's paying for everything, she doesn't have a job, and now the hostel has offered me to stay for free for as long as I like, as some sort of compensation for losing all of my money. So I go back to the hostel where they give me the same bed and the same locker, and for the next over a week I just sit in the hostel with no money to go and buy food, no money to go out and do anything, and it's miserable. Now, thanks to amazing guests that would come, some people would feed me, some people would take me places if they were going somewhere, I still managed to see some of Tehran and enjoy my time, but most days were spent hungry, sitting on a couch, with the only food being the breakfast in the morning, which was bland and shit. The whole time, none of the staff, not the hostel, they don't give me even $2 to go and buy anything, some noodles. The only time I could go and buy something was if my friend came and visited me and she went and bought me some noodles and some snacks and things, and yeah, it wasn't fun. Now after 15 days in this horrible hostel where it wasn't clean, it reeked of smoke, there was no privacy, all the guests were just doing disgusting things in the dorms every night, I managed to get some illegal money through to me in Iran, thanks to my parents, thanks to my friend in Tehran, thanks to my friend's sister in Armenia, and eventually I could keep traveling. And just before we end this one off, I am going to expose this hostel. It's one of the highest rated hostels in Tehran. It's expensive, all of the foreigners go there, and multiple people recommended it to me. Now, in saying this, there's so many robberies. In my case, I was the third person to be robbed in 3 days. And after me, if you go and look at the reviews and go to the lowest reviews or the most recent reviews, there are countless more people after my case being robbed in this hostel. Now, I'm pretty confident it's got something to do with the staff, because if it was your business and people were getting robbed every day, you would do something to fix it. Move the lockers outside, put a camera on it, even put signs up. Now, speaking of signs, when inspection officers were sent to this hostel to inspect what was going on, they put signs up that were pre-made, they had been used before, and they'll be used again, that wrote, "Do not leave valuables in the lockers. If things are stolen, it is not our responsibility." Now, the same day, once these inspection officers left, those signs were gone. Feel free to put your items in the lockers, because we're going to take them. Anyway, Heritage Hostel in Tehran, in Isfahan, in Iran. I don't know where it is in the whole world. Do not visit them. They are a scummy, shit organization and they should be shut down. So, ending on that note, fuck Heritage Hostel. Well, that is gonna do it. That sums up my crazy first 48 hours and 2 weeks in Iran. Stay tuned for the vlogs, because I really hate that this has to be the first thing you hear, because Iran was one of the most amazing countries I've ever traveled, and the vlogs are coming out soon. Except, I will say, the first few vlogs aren't very good. Due to this situation, I was being very cautious, I wasn't filming very well, but as we go through Iran, I promise they get better and better, and once we hit Hormuz Island, you have that video to look forward to because it is unreal. Thank you for watching and supporting this crazy adventure. It'd mean a lot if you'd subscribe, like, comment on the video, because that means I can keep doing this. And from now on, there's going to be a vlog releasing every 2 days from Iran, and then as we go into Turkey, I just filmed a banger video, so stay tuned and I'll catch you in 2 days from Tehran, Iran.